All right, so this is going to be Real Talk episode 33. For those of you that are new to the channel, my Real Talk is basically just me talking about whatever I want to talk. I'll have a general topic. So in this video, I'm going to talk about Kim Goguen as well as what's going on in the world, current state of the world, where my mind is at, what I've been doing, things like that. And yeah, there are a lot of things I have to say. You know, it's been a while since I made a video, so I'll talk about Kim Goguen towards the end of the video, and I'll start talking about what's going on in the world and what's going on with me, right? So, towards the end of last year, I made a video talking about basically what I thought was going to happen in 2024, and I titled it Warning, right? 2024 is going to be a crazy year. Something like that, right? And I want you guys to understand that the reason why I made that video is because 2024, from what I've gathered from all different sources, is going to be a year that is going to really impact the world in many ways. It's already happening, right? You guys see what's happening in the Middle East with all these different wars, the United States getting involved in different conflicts. There's still China and Taiwan. What's going on with that? That's going to be another thing that's going to happen. And also the 2024 election. What happens with the United States affects the entire world. And not just because the United States is always involved in other people's issues where we're always sticking our noses where we shouldn't be. But you combine that with how divided the country is. You have the left versus the right, right? And I really don't like politics. I hate politics. But unfortunately, I have to talk about it because it directly impacts my life. Not just my life, but everyone else's too. So you can only ignore something but for so long before you have to face it, right? And again, I'm not a political person. I don't take sides because I see the whole game. I see how stupid and ignorant the whole thing is. It's just a ploy to get people to fight amongst each other when it should be uniting people, right? It should be something that brings people together, and everyone should be working towards the common good of everyone, not just their own individual self-interest. And that's what makes politics, is everybody's just worried about themselves and their little life and what's good for them. And I'm not saying that's entirely a bad thing, right? Because I do the same thing. But at some point, you have to start looking at the world as a whole and everything that's going on. So if you only focus on yourself all the time in your life and what's important to you and the people around you, then you're going to miss the bigger picture. You're going to miss everything else that's going on. And the crazy thing about it is that most people think that their own little religions, politics, countries, whatever you believe in, is so righteous that they can ignore everything else. And as long as they keep their mind focused on what they care about, nothing else matters because everything will work out. And that's not the case, right? You see what's happening in the world. Everyone's fighting everyone. That's what's happening. Even if there's not hot conflict, meaning even if your country's not involved in a war, for instance, China, right? I've met a lot of people from China that feel their country's so peaceful and serene and quiet, and China doesn't get involved in wars and they stay to themselves. But China is a big instigator in a lot of things, just like the United States. And I'm not saying the United States doesn't instigate. If anything, the United States is the biggest instigator in the world. So I'm not absolving the United States or saying the United States is some kind of good or peaceful country, because we're not. That's the truth. But China is a pretender. China pretends to be this goody-goody nation that never does anything wrong. And meanwhile, behind the scenes, they're controlled by evil, just like the United States, just like every country in the world. And I will reveal that in videos that I'm going to make in the near future. But every country is controlled by the same force. They're all being used as puppet states to instigate issues and wars and crimes against humanity, really, and just kill innocent people for no reason. get the civilians riled up, right? Every country has civilians, so they get their civilians riled up. They get them behind their banner, their flag, and supporting their country. And then whatever their country does is justified in their eyes. So the Chinese people believe whatever China does is justified in their eyes. It doesn't matter if it's right or not, because they support China blindly. It doesn't matter if China is good or not. What matters is they support China. As long as they support China because they're scared of their government, they don't care what China does. And I'm going on a China rant tirade right now because it's a big example of what I'm talking about when it comes to people blindly following things and just doing things for no reason without thinking about the bigger picture. Because the people in China are clueless as to what's going on in the world. They're really lost. They don't know what's really going on. So I have to talk about that. Because in the very near future, we can be involved in a hot conflict with China over Taiwan. So that's going to be a big issue for us in the United States. So I have to talk about that, right? Because I live in the United States. So if we go to war with China, it's going to be a world war for real. Like right now, they're talking about we're already in the beginning stages of World War III, which is pretty much what it seems like. But when China and the United States go at it, that's when it's real. Like, I mean, real world war. But anyways, if it does happen, it's going to be over Taiwan. And when I talk to people in China, they believe that Taiwan belongs to them. And I always explain to them, I say, look, here's the thing about Taiwan. They want to have their own little country. They want to be free. Whether Taiwan belongs to China or does belong to China, I feel that's a moot point. Like, it's irrelevant. And the reason why I feel that way is because if Taiwan wants to have their own government and be free of China, they should be allowed to do that. I live in the United States. The United States was created from colonies that belonged to England. And the people of the United States felt that England wasn't treating them right, taxing them too much, doing all these things that the people in the United States or the colonies back then didn't agree with. So they were like, you know what? We want to be free of the crown. We want to be free of England. We want to have our own country, our own government. And they can screw off. Go do whatever you guys want to do over there, but leave us alone. We're over here in America. We're far away from you. And we don't want anything to do with your politics. We want to have our own government. So the United States created their own government. They declared independence. They went to war with England. We won our independence, quote unquote, even though I don't believe we're completely free. But that's the story that they tell in school, right? We won our independence from England and now we're free, supposedly. So if I live in a country that was based and founded on that principle, which I believe in, meaning, you know, I do believe that if people want to have their own country or live in their own place in the world and not be part of another ruling body, they should be able to do that. Then, of course, I'm going to support Taiwan, right? And I think that's why a lot of people in the United States support Taiwan, because there's a lot of similarities there with Taiwan and the United States. So long story short, the people of China don't understand this. They don't believe in this. They only believe that the CCP is always right. China's always right because they're scared of their government and they're scared of speaking out. They're not allowed to speak out. They're not allowed to do a lot of things. They have no real freedom. So they blindly support whatever the CCP does. So if the CCP says, hey, we're going to take over Taiwan, we're going to force them to do what we want, guess what? The people of China are going to back that, because they don't know any better. And in their minds, they feel that the CCP should have control over Taiwan. And I always ask them, I say, why do you feel this way? Why do you feel you have to have control over other people? First of all, you're not in the government. You don't work for the government. You don't know anyone in the government. You're not in the military. You don't even know who made your government. You don't know why your government was made. You don't know why any laws or rules exist in your country whatsoever. You never agreed to anything. You were just forced into following the rules and laws that your government created, just like every country, right? Every country is like that. You were born into the country. Doesn't matter where you live. And you have to follow those laws and rules. Yet you feel this country that you live in has a right to force other people that don't want to be part of it to be part of it, when these people have already said, hey, we want our own government. We want to be by ourselves. I don't care if Taiwan belonged to China or not. I don't care. It's irrelevant. The point is, because that's their argument. Their argument is, well, Taiwan's always been part of China, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. They want to be their own country. Let them be. Why do you feel like your government has to control them? For what? And your government's so like hell bent on making them be part of China that they're willing to kill Taiwanese people, which are actually Chinese people, right? They're willing to kill their own people to take over a little piece of land that they feel belongs to them. And who is them? Who is they? Who are the people that feel they should be in control over Taiwan? Who are those people? Do you know them? Does anyone know them? No. But everyone follows this shit blindly. And it's not just China. Every country is like this. All the citizens of every country are like this. I've barely met any people that are not like this. And until I explain to them, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you following these people blindly? They don't understand. They don't see it for themselves. They need someone to tell them. And I'm not just talking about the people of China. I'm talking about the whole world. Everyone seems to just blindly follow laws and rules and regulations and governments and countries because they were born there and they're told, if you don't listen to us, it's a bad thing. You're not patriotic. You're a traitor to your country. And there are laws and rules and penalties for not listening to your government, right? The United States is one of the few countries, if not the only country, that you can openly speak out against your government and say, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like this. I don't like that. Other countries don't really have that. That's sad. There's only really one country in the world, and it's being attacked heavily from the inside, the United States. They're trying to destroy the United States because of that, because we have the right to speak out against our government and the atrocities that are happening in the world. So if we don't like something, we can just say, hey, look, this is wrong. I don't like it. Like what I'm doing right now, right? But if I was in China and I was saying this, guess what would happen? The CCP would be after my ass. They'd probably disappear me. They'd probably kill me. Because there's no real freedom over there to say the things I'm saying. But long story short, that's how most people are, right? They just blindly believe and support whatever their government says. And I could say the same thing about the United States. We have laws here too, right? We have regulations, we have rules, we have things that we have to do. But nobody can tell me one person that ever made a law or rule in the United States. Nobody. There are people that introduce these things, but who is the approving authority? And, you know, we can say Congress, the president, blah, blah, blah. We could say the United States government is the one that decides all the rules and laws for us, right? Yeah, that's easy to say, but who is the United States government? And who is the United States? Right? And how come whenever we have a problem with a law or a rule or people that are in our government, like Joe Biden or whatever, how come we can't get rid of these people? How come they're always stuck there? And we are forced to listen to them. Once they get elected, supposedly elected, they don't really get elected. They get chosen by the evil ones that control the world. But once they're in office, it's like impossible to remove these people. Even if they supposedly get impeached and all this other bullshit nonsense, that's just a farce. It's just a show, right? To make you think you have some kind of laws, or not laws, like you have some kind of control, like to make the citizens feel like they have some kind of control over what's going on in their country. They put on a show, a charade, a facade of, oh, we're impeaching this guy. We're getting rid of this guy. We're doing this. This person got fired, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. I think by now, people know that everyone that works in the government is in cahoots with each other. They're all working together. Doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat. That's why they call it the Uni Party, right? Because both sides pretty much always work together, even though they pretend they're on opposing sides and they pretend that they're arguing and fighting with each other over laws and rules and shit, but they're not. They're really just like, okay, This time we'll give you what you want. Next time we'll get what we want. And they keep going back and forth like that to make it, it's a show. Like I said, it's fake. It's just to make people think that something's actually happening when it's not. They've already decided what they're going to do and not going to do with each other. And then they tell you guys, the citizens, the people that believe in this nonsense, that, hey, we went to Congress, we went to this place, we talked to the president, we went through the procedure, right, of approving and ratifying these laws, so now you guys have to follow them. When in reality, they've already decided what they wanted you to do, and they just pretended that they were having an argument about it when they weren't. I've seen how fake these Congress arguments are. I've seen it plenty of times. I'm like, this shit is so fake, it's staged. But whatever. The point is, they fool a lot of people into believing this shit is legitimate when it's not. It's all fake. It's a show. And you guys fall for it. And like I've said in the past, January 6th, right? You know what January 6th was? It was the citizens getting too involved in the show. You guys participated too much in the show, and then they put you in your place and they said, hey, you're supposed to be watching the show, not getting involved in it. You want to get involved in it? There are penalties for getting involved in the show. You know that, right? You go against the ruling body, you go against the government, you go against the people of Congress, and you want to attack us, or you want to protest us, or you want to say that we can't do what we're doing, we're going to throw your ass in jail. That's what January 6th was. And guess what? Trump was the ringleader that led his people to the slaughter. That's all he was. He was a fucking puppet to bring you guys down there to make an example out of you. So whoever went down there like a dumbass supporting this fucking fake Trump, that's what you get. It is what it is. I have no sympathy for you because you're stupid enough to fucking get involved in the show. Now I'm getting involved in the show too. But that's what I'm here for on this planet. I'm here to end the show. I'm tired of the show. I'm tired of watching this shit. So I'm trying to change it, right? I'm trying to wake people up so they can understand what's going on, so we can try to change it and fix it and not go through all this nonsense anymore. Because again, when people are so focused on their personal politics, life, religion, whatever, that they miss the bigger picture of what's going on in the world. And there's so much shit going on, and it all connects. It's all connected. The United States and China, back to that conflict, right? If we go to war with them, China, the people of China blindly support their government because they don't know what's going on in the world. So they just believe that whatever their country or government does, it's the right thing. It doesn't matter. And I've told the people of China, I said, what makes your country good is your culture and your people, not the government. The government doesn't really exist. It's just an idea. It's just, who's the government? And do you know anyone that works in the government or anyone in the military? No, you don't know these people. But you believe and support them blindly no matter what they say or do, because you think they're righteous, because your country is peaceful, because you have a good culture. Your culture and your people are not the same as your government. That's a completely different entity. But they're misled into believing that this is the truth, that their country is synonymous or the same as their culture and their people. The citizens are not the government. That's why there are citizens, and that's why there's the government. There are two different things there. But they get confused. They don't understand. They don't know. No one's ever told them, right? They've been lied to their whole life. In the United States, honestly, it's kind of similar. Most people don't know what's going on. They think whatever the United States says or does is the truth. But the difference between us and China is that we can speak out about it. And if there are people that know the truth, like me, I can say what the truth is, and I can tell people and alert people and let people know what's really going on, right? So, long story short, that's the gist of it in terms of what's going on in the world now. There are other conflicts going on, like in the Middle East, and the United States getting involved, possibly with Iran in a war, and all these other things that are going on. But to me, the biggest conflict that I'm concerned with is China and the United States over Taiwan. And that's going to probably happen in the next few months, probably before Joe Biden leaves office. He'll get into a conflict with China, and that'll be his parting gift to us, right? Like, if you guys didn't think I fucked up the country enough, here's a war with China. Enjoy. And then he'll leave office. That's what I think is going to happen. But anyways, we'll see. We'll see how things play out. Hopefully people wisen up enough. I don't know. Honestly, when I think about humans, I don't see much hope because humans are so fucking ignorant and stupid. I'm sorry. That's the truth. If you get offended, then you're one of the idiots. But whatever. If you're not one of the idiots, then listen to what I'm saying and try to do something about it, right? So now I'm going to talk a little bit about Kim Goguen. The next video I'm going to make is going to be solely focused on Kim Goguen because I have some things I want to discuss and explain to people that watch her and people that come to my channel saying things to me about her or her information that may be a little bit misguided. Actually, not a little bit, a lot. There are some people that are really misguided when they listen to Kim Goguen. They don't understand what she's saying. They get confused. So I'm going to clarify that so you guys can understand not only where you're getting confused, but where I'm coming from. So whenever you come and talk to me and you try to tell me something, you need to, if you haven't watched all my Kim Goguen videos and you're a Kim Goguen follower, you need to pay attention to what I say because I tell everybody the truth of how I really feel in all those videos. I do it in all my videos. But if you watch me for Kim Goguen, watch all the Kim Goguen videos and listen to my words. Don't turn off your brain when you hear something good that I say about Kim Goguen and then you miss the part where I said I have an issue with this. I have an issue with this. Because that's something that's happening is I have people coming here and their brains get turned off. They're like, well, I only heard you say this thing. And I'm like, well, I said other things too. So if you didn't watch that video or you didn't hear me say this, that's on you. I already put this out. I already said this. But I'm going to do it again in another video so you guys can understand fully where I'm coming from and what I'm talking about. So my next video is going to be solely focused on Kim Goguen because I just had somebody come by and say some things to me. They didn't like what I had to say. They unsubbed from the channel. Good. I don't care. Good riddance. I don't care. If you don't like what I have to say, then don't watch me. That's all I have to say. I want more followers. I want more viewers. I want more subs. Just like anybody that's doing YouTube. That's the whole point of doing it, is to get more subs. Because I've had people say, oh, you just talk about this to get more subs. Blah. Yeah, no shit. That's what everybody does on fucking YouTube. That's the whole point of all of this, is to get more subs, to get more people to listen, to get more people to follow so that you can spread your message. That's the whole point of YouTube. But anyways, so besides the truth of that, people don't seem to understand that when I say certain things, I mean what I say. Actually, everything I say, I mean. But when I'm adamant, that's a point that you're not going to argue or you're not going to change my mind about. If I'm very, very serious about it and I'm like, this is what the truth is, you're not going to change my mind about it. So people get confused and they think, oh, I can say this, I can say that. It's not my fault if you misunderstood me or you missed a point that I made. That's on you. That's your own lack of intellect. I can't fix your intellect. I can't make your IQ go up. You have to fix your listening skills and your comprehension skills. That's on you. You got to either read more books. I don't know what you're going to do. Go back to school. I don't know. But whatever you need to do to improve your cognitive ability to understand me, that's on you. That's all on you. And all I can do is speak the truth, right? And those that have ears to hear will hear me. If you don't, then you won't. You won't hear. You won't listen. You won't understand. Right? So anyways, I think I've said enough. I think you guys get the point. Long story short, to sum up this whole video is I believe this year, it's already happening, but it's going to be a the year is going to get crazier as it goes on. There are going to be a lot of world wars where different countries are going to be getting involved in conflicts with each other. I hear other people talking about this like it's willy-nilly, like it's cool, like it's like, oh, we're going to have World War III. Like, I'm like, yeah, it's like the end of the fucking world, basically. It's not like something to really take lightly, but most humans seem to be so confused and lost that they're willing to kill each other over nothing. It's sad that I live in a world full of such ignorance. And then if I speak the truth, someone like me will get attacked because they want to live in their delusion that ends their life. I'm like, you rather live like that and die than to hear the truth and end the nonsense? I don't know. I don't know. That's what people do. That's how humans are. They're just stupid creatures. I don't know what else to say besides that. But the next video will be about Kim Goguen. So I'm going to go deeper into what I'm talking about with her and what people are getting confused about. And that's all I have to say for now. If you like, comment, subscribe, share where you can, hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.